Hello everybody, how's it going? Well, this is the first video I'm gonna do, and hopefully it comes out good. My name is David K. Smith. I am the founder of Ugly Flies Big Island, Flies for Predator. I tie saltwater flies for predators here on the Big Island of Hawaii and all over the state, mostly streamers. But anyhow, I'm gonna get started. So not much to say. I'll talk as I go. Um, I learned this pattern from watching videos from Johnny King. Um, Great fly tire. If you have a chance, go and check him out. Give credit where credit is due. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna get started. So I used to tie these in a, I've tied a lot of them in a blue. This is the end product. However, I had a good friend of mine ask me to tie with a mahi style pattern. So, mahi colors, excuse me. And I came up with this one, this style. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to show you how I tie this up. This is what it looks like before it gets trimmed. You can see it's got nice bulky body, nice shoulders. There we go. All around good fly. But it's not finished yet. Got to trim it and put the eyes on. But that's what we're going to do right now. I'm just going to show you how I tie this up. This light is just crazy. All right, here we go. So I have a 3/0 hook here and I put some faux bucktail on the end. And what this is basically is it's a brace for the feathers so they don't wrap around and foul around the hook. It kind of like supports them on the bottom there. What's really cool about this fly and what makes it work is this little channel that you create in the bottom here. And as you trim it up, it'll hold air. And with the bulkhead being the way it is, it'll make these feathers get a lot of action in the back. Um, there is ice dub in this. This is what I've been using, mixed in with my fibers. Um, Johnny King's already has it mixed in. That's it's called kinky fibers, but I have fibers that I made my own kink to. Kudos. Anyway, so I've secured this onto the end of right about where the barb is on the hook. This is a 3/0 hook. I already have my feathers prepared here. I'm going to use green and yellow, and then I'm going to finish off with a chartreuse grizzly feather. So you want to put your feathers a little bit past your bucktail, not too much though. Measure that off there. Now the key to this is you don't want to you want to tie it as high up as you can so you can create like a little uh like how a fish's back is, like the little spine there. So you kind of get your measurement there, okay? And then you're going to take this one time, just one. And you're going to get it at a 45-degree angle. So it's kind of up like this, and that will create a ridge. Same thing on the other side. And then measure it out a little bit, trim it back. And once again, one wrap. That's all you really need for right now. Now I know it looks like a big mess, but trust the process. See how the feathers are kind of creating a little ridge up here. So now I'm going to come in with the yellow feather, do the same thing, measure it out. They don't have to be perfect. In fact, I think it's better that they're not the same length and the same perfection, whatever you want to call it, because it just gives it more action as it's in the water. Okay, grab the other feather. Pretty simple process, like I said. And you see, it's kind of looks weird back here right now, right? So wait till I get this all tied in and you'll see I tie it all together to kind of keep it together. So once again, it'll, you know, won't foul around that hook because that's the last thing you want. Set it in there at about a 45-degree angle. One wrap, two wraps. Now that you've got it pretty much where you want it, now you can come in and you can trim the excess off here. And of course, it's New Year's Eve, so if you hear fireworks in the background, welcome to Hawaii. It's a big thing here. A lot of people blow a lot of firecrackers and a lot of fireworks. All right, you can see this right here, and you see it's kind of standing up. You got a little bit of a, you can manipulate it around to where you need it to be before you really secure it down. All right, and then I take some crystal flash here, two pieces, fold it up twice, and I'll bring it right around here, around the thread, kind of grab a hold of it, measure it out to where I want it, about half and half. I have control over it now where it lays. So I can lay it right there, right in the middle, because this is one of the things that really attract the fish is that silver as it, or I should say that glitter as it's in the sun. All right, so now I've got it like so. I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's all secure. And now this is another security method. I'm going to bring it around, come around the top here, go back around again this way, tie it this way. And that, as you can see, it has grabbed all that material and it's holding it up there. So guess what? It never will foul around the hook. And that's a good thing. All right, so now, once we got all that in there, I like to put a little bit of Sally Hansen's, just because I use these flies in salt water, and there's some toothy predators out there, so it's just an extra security measure on there so that the hook, I'm sorry, the fly stays nice and solid all the way through. All right. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the bottom. I'm going to take the color that goes on the bottom of the fly, which is kind of like this yellowish color. That's the first one I'm going to put on there. Now, as you can see right now, it's just, the fibers. These are just the fibers. And I'm going to take some of this dubbing and I'm going to mix it into the fibers. Oh, there's a nice big firework. Happy New Year. Just tie it around like that. And it's okay. Don't worry because a lot, the most, I should say, what makes this fly really nice is at the end when you trim it. So right when I'm tying this, it's going to look like a big electrified mess. And that's okay, because that's what it's supposed to look like. But most people, when they stack, they put it here and then they'll fold it back. But the way that you get this bulky fly, this muddler style, is you tie it in a V pattern on the side like this. So I've got it at a 45-degree angle again, once again. Then I'm going to take it and I'm going to only one wrap. You don't have to put too many. And I'm going to wrap it right back around on the other side. Come over it. One, two. That's it. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to go to the other side. And you see these little nubs right here? These little nubs help you as you go along. All right, so now this is the top of the fly. So as you can see, there's lots of green back here, right? So you put the yellow in right there. So now I'm going to put the green in. And you want a pretty good size one because this is, the tail and it's going to blend into the feathers. So once again, I got my fiber all cut out here, all in pieces about this big, the same size. Put some of this in there, some of this ice dub. And this is called oxide, the color. It's kind of got like a goldish, yellow, copperish look to it. It's pretty cool. Anyhow, come on the top and you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to come at a 45-degree angle, one wrap. You don't have to go too tight. If you do, it's going to foul because this stuff is real slick. Wrap it over. Come over. One, two. Take a look. Make sure it's right where you want it. Manipulate it any way that you need to because you don't want it to just be on the side. You want it to be on the top also. And then you're going to turn her over and do the other side. And this time I'm going to use some white and some blue because every fish has white, especially in the belly and the bottom. So once again, as you can see, I'm putting that dubbing in there, mixing it in. I have this white with a little bit of blue in there, like so. Gonna come there, come at that 45-degree angle again. One, get it nice, wrap it over, in that V pattern again. Might have to give it another wrap here. And that's okay too. But you don't want to go too much because I found that if you start cinching down on this stuff, it'll start fouling and you'll get all kinds of weird things happening and you won't be able to tie it down. One, two, right? You have your little nub there. Go ahead and cinch down on that. Build my cone up on the end here. You don't want to forget this because this is all tying points for you. Okay, so as you can see, at the bottom end and the top, it's even. So on my next set of hair that I'm gonna tie in, I'm gonna tie it in not on this big lump, but a little bit in the front there where this nub is. And that way it keeps you from getting um, a big old clump at the end, and then it's really hard to tie. So same process again, mixing that ice dubbing into my fur, oh, I should say my fibers, turning it kind of kinky. There we go. Right. Now this is like a chartreuse color, a little bit of a lighter color for the top until I start getting up to the front, and then I'll fade it in with a darker green. All right, so one, two, get a little 45-degree angle there. Okay, make sure it's about even, half and half. You come over, and once again, you're going to put that same tie in there. You're going sideways in a V. Can you see that? I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me see. About that. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a V. It's a V shape. And that's how you're building the body. Turn it over once again. Same thing again. I'm going to use a little bit of that white with the blue mixed into it. And it is supposed to be a mahi mahi, right? So I got some of my ice stub already mixed in there. Always when you're tying, try to keep an eye and make sure that you're even. As you start to tie down, your stuff might want to twist and go this way and that way with the whichever way you're tying. So be aware of that. 45-degree angle, come across, get it right where I want it. One, two, three. Come up on the front. Don't forget to build this because it'll come and get you in the end. Build it up. Get all of this nice and cinched down. You can manipulate it once again, like so. Flip it around. Same thing again on the top. Now sometimes what happens if you don't pay attention and you get a little bit too much bulky on the side, you'll get this little cavity up here. And when you go to trim it, that cavity will show. So I'll do a little bit of a cheat here and I'll take some of this fiber and instead of tying it in on the sides, I'll tie it in on the top to fill in that little gap. Because we're not doing a deceiver style, right? We're doing a muddler style, which is thick. It looks like a bait fish. Righty. Oh, there's people on. Let me see. I didn't even see that. Hey, how's it going, brother? How are you? Good to see you, man. Happy New Year. What time is it there, Stuart? So see how I just brought it in on the top like so? And that filled in that cavity real good. All right. You know what? I'm going to try a different lighting source because I don't like the way that looks. What happens if I do that and I do this? Hey, that's a lot better. I think, I think. All right. So as you can see, a little bit 4:43 a.m. Oh, it's already New Year's. Well, happy New Year's. Are you going fishing today? Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. There's these big old saltwater streamers that I tie here because most of the target fish are giant trevally, blue trevally, um, barracuda. I mean, all different kinds of fish, but they're big and predatorial. All right, so now I'm on the bottom again, and I'm gonna grab some of this yellow because the white is in there already. The fish is gonna see it from the bottom. Ooh, yeah, there's white. Okay, so this is something real. Hopefully it thinks that, right? Mix this stuff up again. And this fly, I mean, it is kind of messy to tie, but it's fun. Especially the end product. When you see the end product, it's like, wow, this looks like a little bait fish. Alrighty. Nice at a 45-degree angle. Good night, brother. See you on the live sometime. Righty. Moving right along. Coming up to the top here. Right. And I'll get the last of my fluorescent yellow or green or chartreuse, whatever you want to call it. Mix it right up in there. .45-degree angle. So you see how that nub really helps because I can come right in front of it like that. And then it'll taper down and give you a nice place to tie. And then it'll slip sometimes like that, and that's okay. That's what this stuff does. But just remember, you're in charge of your thread, not the fly. Flip it over, the other side. See how some of it came around? And flip it back around so that when you tie your next part in, you're good to go. Get some of this yellow. And you just repeat the process over and over. And this is really cool. I've never done a live before, my very first live. I've done it with other people, joined other people, but I've never actually done it by myself like this. It's very interesting. Got to get used to talking to yourself. That's what my friend Villagrand said. And of course, like, share, and subscribe, please. I can get this out and help other people, I hope, and, encourage other people to tie flies. It's a great art. I'm more than happy to, you know, talk as I'm going, learn from others. We have a great fly tying community. You got Villagrand's Pit Stop, you got K-Fish, so many other people. I am self-taught. I am a huge fan of the Fly Smith, Brian Smith. I've learned a lot from him and also Nick from Spirit Fly. Both of them have really encouraged me and taught me um, how to do what I'm doing. I know that Brian ties a lot of smaller flies and Spirit Fly ties streamers, and I kind of use some of the techniques that they use while I'm tying. All right, so now I'm going to go to my dark green. The rest of the fly will be dark green and yellow. Fill this in. over. Now's a good time to put some more of this just to kind of solidify those fibers a little bit. And the thread. Righty. Moving right along here. And see, as you come in front of that, I don't know if you can see it very well. I got to get my lighting adjusted, but as you come along and you have those little bumps, they help you as a guide where you can really, put it down here and get it into place right where you want it without a big piece over there blocking, and looking all nasty and making it hard to tie. Right. I'm gonna take another one like so. Mix all this stuff up. Yeah, it is a little bit messy, but trust the process at the end. They're so beautiful. All right. One more like so. Bring it around. Huh. Nice fat head there. And now I'll tie in my grizzly. And it kind of gives like a barred, I guess is the word, effect on the fly itself. Just stick it in the side there. One wrap. Make sure it's right where you want it. Perfect. Same thing with the other side. Measure it. You don't want it too long. You want it to be right about, I don't know, at the end of your fibers there, right where the green and the yellow, somewhere in there. And like I said, you can do it however you want. I am not the expert. I'm just sharing some of the things that I've learned. Trim that off. Give it a couple of extra wraps. Make sure it's nice and secure. Take some head cement, or I should say, hard as nails. Sorry, Miss Hanson. Just paint that a little bit. All right, now we're going to do the top here, and it looks like there's no roof, right? And this is the part that is really cool, and it really gives this fat bulkhead look, which pushes the water away. It kind of distorts the water, and this thing really moves in the water. So, same process with a little piece of this, with a little bit thicker piece of this stuff, but we're not going to tie it in sideways. We're going to do it Bob Popovic style, like a hollow tie. And that really builds it up. And of course, it doesn't look like there's enough room to do that. You're probably saying, David Kea, hello, you're going to go into the eye. And yes, it does look like that, but trust the process. All right. Happy New Year. Put it in right on the top like that. A little bit hanging over. I'm going to give it one wrap. We're going to keep this all on the top, not sideways, right? And then we're going to come on the bottom. My dog is not liking the fireworks, which is understandable. It would be nice if you could see it, but all they're doing is just setting off these big, huge bombs. Big thing here in Hawaii. Everybody loves fireworks here, especially on New Year's. Right, bring this around. Same thing as we did to the top. Kind of spread it out a little bit. And we're right at we're on the edge of the hook eye, but trust the process. Well, what I like to do is make sure it's nice and tight, make sure everything's nice and even. Green on the top, yellow on the bottom. It's kind of spread out a little bit. And then I take my great little spool, thread spool. There it is, thread spool. And I'm going to go right in the middle, right to where the hook eye is, and kind of spread it around. Make sure it's nice and even all the way around, pretty much. Now I'm going to push this in. And as I push this in, I'm going to pull things back like so. And then push, push, push. And oh no, look at that. Look at that hook eye. Oh no. But that's what's great about this style of tying, Bob Popovic's. If you, I'm right there on the edge. And if you just nice and easy build this little thread dam here, it's actually going to push this stuff back. And it's going to build the head up. Make sure all of as much of that fiber is there. You make sure it's kind of like where you want it, half and half, or close to it. And you just keep going around and around and around. But you see how I'm kind of pushing up against this head here, and I'm building a layer. And this layer keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it's pushing back and pushing back. You don't have to put too much pressure. And take your time, never ever rush, of course. And see how it just lays that back nice, and it builds up a nice little head, nice little thread down there. You want to make sure you have a really nice little nub there, like so. And then whip finish. So I like to whip finish at least one on the top over here. And I like to whip finish one close to the eye. And I know some guys, they do the half hitch and everything. I call it spider fingers, but I can't do that. I do it with this. Down, get that nice and halfway. It's a little bit tricky getting it up here on the top part, but the more you do, the better you get. 3, 4, bring it down, cinch it down. Then I'll bring it down to the hook eye. Make sure everything's pulled back as much as I can. And I'm gonna put a couple in the front here. Hey, there we go. Hey, you. There we go. That's what's wrong. Two, three, one, four. Get my nice Flysmith scissors. If you guys want to get good scissors, go to the Flysmith. Best scissors in the world. Also, best bobbins in the world. All right, and that's it. The last thing I do is I'll take a little bit of this UV resin and secure my threads. And then tomorrow morning, once everything is kind of cured up here, I will trim it up, which will be the next video. Trim it up, put the eyes on, and trim it up. All right, UV resin, blue light, UV light. That way, secure my threads down. And that is stage one of what I call the Mahi Muddler. As you can see, it looks like a huge electrified mess. But when I get done trimming it, it will look like that. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Aloha, and thank you for checking it out. And please like, share, and subscribe so I can get out there and get into the community. All right. Take care, guys. Aloha.